Hi, guys. Thanks so much for being here for our Libra season tarot reading. It's taken us a little bit to finally make this. We have, I think, a little over 1 week left of Libra season right as of today. But we definitely want to make sure to get on here and share a message for the season. So today we are using our Ask the Witch tarot, which is one of the newest decks that Mark got for us.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't too long ago, really. So I like to go to Barnes and Noble to find new decks. They always have a lot of cool decks there. Um, we've saged the cards. Anything else you want to say or any energy you want to put into the cards for this reading?
Well, I guess we normally talk a little bit about Libra season energy.
Hmm.
So, um, to me, Libra season, it is about being able to find that balance in our life and kind of be able to take that time to recognize when certain aspects maybe aren't as in balance as you would like them to be. I think it's a time to like recognize patterns in your life and maybe habits that you want to be more aware of to break those habits or try to start new, healthier things.
Hmm.
What do you think?
I think it is like just remaining, positive is always a good thing, coming back to your goals, like that intention of what you want to bring into our life. But I think of that as being like something we're wanting to obtain. It seems like it's easier to do that than to look at the parts of ourselves that we want to kind of eliminate because they're keeping us from taking that next step or something. So it really is like noticing patterns in our life,
Mhm.
staying intentional to what our purpose or our passion is, but then really being able to slow down, or even if you do have someone around you that you can talk to about things, if you're feeling a certain way, it always helps to get it out so it can look different or write it down.
Yeah, you made me think of journaling too when you said that.
Well, I think it's cool when you like the back of these cards have like a maze on it too, which is kind of
Like a labyrinth
like a
maze. Yeah,
labyrinth, yeah.
I love that.
So like in this season, we're just kind of navigating that in our
Right.
life, trying to almost find our way out. But a lot of times to me, it's like we just need to find our way in, like into ourselves a little more than so much outside ourselves trying to get somewhere.
Well, that also makes me think just like sometimes we can see that we're approaching a dead end from a long ways away. And other times, like, we kind of have to get right up on that before we realize, oh, we need to turn around and try again or take a different path. And so, again, just being able to have that awareness to recognize when those things are occurring for you so that you can just help make more informed decisions and
It's always like a
yeah,
balance in our life,
just learning.
because we always, we want to feel comfortable also. So sometimes we will stay in a place that feels a little bit uncomfortable, but it's helping us to get to another place. So, like you said, when you can kind of see a dead end,
Hmm.
from a long ways away, but it's like, well, like, I'll just hang out here a little bit longer. It is still far away, but I could still, make a turn at any time. But
Yeah.
yeah, so just being able to recognize that, just opening up our awareness for this reading, this season, helping us to find balance and just that navigation here through the Witch Tarot. So, thank you for joining us and connecting your energy to these cards and take what you want from this reading, and let's just move through that labyrinth of life, together. All right, so let's pull the first card here. We're going to do three or four.
I thought we would do like two each.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was four beats. So,
I think it was five.
okay. So I tried to adjust the camera today where we could kind of see the plants a little better. Plants are doing really good. I think we're up to like 50 plants or
53.
53 or something.
Well, maybe more now.
Yeah.
But we did give one away too, I think.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see what this first one. Uh, oh man, Ten of Swords, first card. So,
Well,
you know,
swords is air, which is Libra.
yeah. So a lot of mental energy, the Ten of Swords are those things that are just poking at us. And sometimes it can feel like maybe backstabbing stuff or,
Just overwhelm.
overwhelmed in our mind from just things happening in our life.
So next, and we'll go through the whole
Yeah.
thing once we pull them all, but next I got the Page of Cups. I have pulled this one from this deck before. I recognize that one.
I'm at Five of Cups.
Oops. Those look so similar.
Mm,
The background and they're really actually all of them are on the beach.
yeah.
That's really
I
weird.
kind of feel like there's part of me
Oh,
that's always at the beach.
another swords. So we got cups and swords
It's a lot of mental
today.
energy, a lot of emotional energy.
This one is the Seven of Swords. So this is a this is a very much like be aware of the energy around you kind of reading. The Ten of Swords more so is like our mental energy. But if there are also like people in your life or things in your life that you know are kind of causing that more from the outside, like the things you can notice that you just again don't want to have reoccurring for yourself or through this next season that we're in and
It feels to me like we are at like the end of this cycle. And it's like
ready to move out
even
from
you
that.
can see the hat just kind of laying there to the side. And to me, it feels like we're hitting the end of that cycle also, where we're about to release this energy
Yeah.
coming into this new season. Now that we're more aware of it, that we can slow down a little bit and just pay attention to what's happening around us through other people, just the things we're getting involved in and just feeling what really, brings life and love into our life, that joy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it is like an end of a cycle.
Hmm.
And just being able to kind of wake up to a new version of yourself. And it does point out too that like there's not a storm happening over the sea. Like it is like a calm waters.
And it's like the person is basically looks dead. It's like this
They're being
part,
reborn.
this part of our journey is done. It feels like, and it being the first card in the reading, I think that tells me that more as we're going along here in the reading. Moving into the Page of Cups. This energy, they're kind of just walking on water a little bit. It looks like, or just standing in the water, which is
It's
pretty
like
cool.
not being afraid to be sensitive and to
Hmm.
like be vulnerable with your emotions and like you can even kind of tell like in their outfit like it's very just like I'm gonna be me kind
Hmm.
of thing and like I'm okay with just like figuring out my path and not always knowing maybe what step you're taking next because you think of the page more as like a student or like sometimes a little more naive to that suit of energy for the water.
They're kind of open, ready to learn. There's a confidence there that isn't really afraid. It's being open to these new opportunities that are coming from kind of being reborn from that Ten of Swords. We're able to
Hmm.
get deeper into our emotional body
Yeah.
where that a lot of that trauma from whatever's going on was from.
Hmm.
So now that we're able to heal that a little bit and be reborn, like you said,
Hmm.
we have this new confidence in our emotions to trust again, to be vulnerable, to
Yeah, it says allow us to open ourselves to trust and inspire it in others.
Mhm.
I think that's great. But next we have the Five of Cups, which um this one is like fives are a little more conflicting number and like
Mhm.
this one is a little more of a sorrowful type card as well.
And you can think about it like the cards go from like ace to 10, and then, you have the
Hmm.
court cards. But so five, we're about halfway through like a journey here with something, it feels like
Which
that.
is kind of like you're kind of taking stock of where you are on that
Right.
path at that moment.
Making sure that we're remaining grateful and noticing what is happening in our life that is bringing us, that importance or helping build our confidence,
Hmm.
and not focusing so much on things we've lost or we feel like that have poured out of us that we didn't get back what we thought we would, because we always have these expectations of we give our energy out or put these things out there. In that way, it can feel like that'll never come back as exactly like you want it. If we can live in a place where that is just like we notice what's happened, it's experience now, and we can move on and be grateful for what we still have
Hmm.
and not stay in that, lost expectation of like we didn't get something. When we can release expectation a lot of the times and stay focused more on what we're passionate about,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of time for other things to come in.
Well, and you think of like the cups being spilled over as like what are those emotions that need to be released and they can just like go back into the earth,
Mhm.
you know, and just be transmuted. And sometimes we again just have to like recognize those things that we want to shake off so that we can move into those more positive after
Mhm.
overcoming, you know.
Right.
But then our Seven of Swords, so that one's often thought of as like kind of like a trickster or like even like a thief
Mhm.
or someone that's trying to get away with something. And so again, when you think about it being this the air element and how that can be more of a mental energy, um, like it can be like a clever energy, but also just like I said, kind of trying to get away with something
Yeah,
sometimes, which isn't
since
always like
since it's
a
in
good
the
thing.
swords kind of reflecting our mental energy, it's being aware of, I think, our words and our actions when we're around and with people. What is your intention with, so just being clear in what it is and what we want, I mean, I think that's basically it, to like make it sound simple,
Hmm.
is to recognize our own intentions and like what is the purpose of this meeting or interaction with people, you know.
Well, and overall, like since it's just totally split between air and water, to me, like that really is telling of that balance that we talked about for Libra and just being able to like this is very that head and heart type
Mhm.
balance of a reading. So I think just being able to mostly like recognize the things that you know you want to remove that have maybe become barriers for yourself, and then just feel more comfortable in your emotions and trusting those, and just again releasing the things that don't feel like they're furthering you, and just being aware of any kind of that self-sabotaging energy that we can have in our mind sometimes that the Seven of Swords I think can represent.
Right, we can get too much in our head or too much in our heart, so too much in our emotion or just too much in our thinking, so to bring that into balance, when it comes into balance, it's easier to speak like our truth and be honest, be vulnerable, be those like common sense things. If we just all interacted with each other in that way, we wouldn't have a lot of confusion, like we do in the world, because our hearts and minds aren't aligned.
Mm.
So it really jumbles up our words and our intentions and our expectation of others. So we've got to put that mirror back onto ourselves, and see how every action we're taking, how that's affecting not only us, but everyone around us. How can we uplift each other and just kind of release this nonsense stuff, in our life?
All right. Well, that'll be it for our Libra season reading. We won't take as long to do the Scorpio one once we transition to Scorpio season. But in the meantime, we'll have our Oracle meditation videos that we release every Wednesday. And then you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at MARKANNA Wellness. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.